otherwise known as State of the Nation Address by His Excellency, President Dr. William Samoei Ruto on 20th of November 2025. I want to back what most of the senators have presented in lauding the policy decisions that are value-loaded as presented by His Excellency. And I have tried to summarize them, and I realize they are pegged on social amenities, all revolving around health, education, infrastructure, irrigation, food security, and technology. I'm encouraged by the deliberate measures the government has taken to secure equity, social justice, and dignity for all. I come from a county that has various categories of citizens, where we have women, we have youths, we have the elderly, people living with disabilities, which are normally encompassed in a bracket known as the vulnerable groups. And these groups keenly listened to the presidential address, and over the weekend when I went home, I think for the first time I received some positive comments from the address by the president, despite a few whispers of maybe due to uncompleted projects or some that are underway. But 3/4 of the comments were positive, and I want to laud that. I want to affirm the support for the transformational agenda that encompasses the transformative projects that the president highlighted in his address. And I want to break them down into the following elements. One, about protection and empowerment of the vulnerable groups. I want to welcome the clear government commitment to vulnerable Kenyans under the Social Health Authority, that is the famous SHA. Now we have 27 million members registered under SHA, more than triple the number of the previous NHIF. So that is a plus. And maybe what we would like to encourage is to have an enhanced cancer coverage, diabetes screening, hypertension screening, and other communicable and non-communicable diseases to be encompassed in that. The presidential directive that 2.3 million vulnerable Kenyans, including widows, have their health insurance paid by the state. So what most of the senators have presented is that still there are some whispers about SHA. So maybe the relevant authorities, we cannot keep directing everything to the president. He has delegated some of these duties to the cabinet secretaries, the PSS, and all those other members that represent various ministries and departments. So it is a clarion call that the members they roll up their sleeves in overseeing the work in their departments. I want to add that we call for prioritized registration, follow-up and monitoring to ensure vulnerable groups, especially the widows, the youths, people with disabilities from rural communities benefit fully from these initiatives. We also want to advocate for targeted economic programs for widows, including access to Hustler Fund, credit repair, and MSE support. Widows, women, and other vulnerable groups normally have a challenge. Therefore, in this address, we want to point out that there is need to advocate for to encourage the rollout of legal support structures for widows, especially who are facing land disputes, inheritance issues, or economic exclusion. And as a leader, I also advocate the same for the widowers, because we have widows and widowers. Although from the community where I come from, widows outweigh the widowers. But still we have to support them because there are some who are very vulnerable. Looking at healthcare, this is a lifeline for the vulnerable-headed households. So I want to applaud the nationwide deployment of 107 community health promoters who happen to be the primary healthcare workforce in history because they are trained and they are equipped. Healthcare is the foundation of human dignity under SDG number 3 and under our constitution. That is from Article 43 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Clause 1A up to F, number 2 and 3. It highlights the economic and social rights. So when we look at health, we normally say that health is wealth, and a healthy nation rather, or a healthy populace, boosts production, and therefore that enhances our economic status. I want to comment on food security and agriculture, where the president gave a raft of revitalized value chains. Remember when he came in office, people were scampering around with sufurias on their heads. I come from a community that embraces food in all aspects, not just for eating, but also as an income-generating activity, since we grow a lot of agricultural products, like we have sugarcane, we have coffee, we have tea, we have maize, and maize is our staple food in Bungoma County. So I want to thank that. However, I want to encourage that the relevant department enhances integrated digital platform to register farmers, to have a Kenya Agricultural Management Information System that will have a complete data of all the farmers and categories of farmers vis-a-vis the crops that they plant. So agriculture is the backbone of our economy in Kenya, and therefore I want to laud the president for having a keener eye on it. I also want to comment about affordable housing and markets. I come from a community that embraces good housing and even entrepreneurship. They are very much into business, and we have to support the 230 affordable houses and 276 new markets that will provide dignity, safety, and income for women in Bungoma County, especially the widows and other entrepreneurs. We have several market stalls in Chwele, in Chepkube, in Kandui, in Mount Elgon, in Kamkuywa, in Webuye, in Tongaren, and in Bumula. So we want to emphasize housing and market infrastructure as tools for real social protection. Then we have MSMEs, Hustler Fund, and Youth Opportunities, where we saw the president the other week launching the Nyota program or initiative in Mumias. So 80 billion has been dispersed through the Hustler Fund, with millions removed from CRB lists. Most of them had been blacklisted, but the president has made an effort to ensure that they are removed from the CRB lists in order to enable them to access credit facilities and boost their businesses. In line to this, I want to encourage the creation of a widows economic empowerment window within the Hustler Fund. Sorry, am I out of time? Not yet. Thank you. And I also want to comment about education. Having been a teacher, I really embrace the value of education in all aspects. We laud the president for whatever efforts he's put in place to boost education, despite the whispers that the funding model has hitches. And I'm so sure our president is keen on it, and he'll have to remind the relevant department, or rather ministry, to look at where the hiccups are and to improve on it. That relieves the pressure on single mothers, widows, and all those vulnerable groups that have got school-going children or that have the tertiary, college, or university students. I want also to support the massive teacher recruitment and student-centered funding model, and encourage that the teachers' welfare is improved right from ECDE to up the other levels of education. Otherwise, it is a good move. About water, dams, irrigation, and all that, I think this one is a backbone for rural women, and it boosts their agricultural production, and it also even enhances our environment as we are looking at the environmental tree cover, environmental protection, and conservation. Lastly, let me not forget about digital transformation. We are in a techno-savvy space, and I want to applaud the expansion of fiber networks, digital hubs, and e-citizen services, which have gone to an extent of benefiting even the rural businesswoman by lowering the compliance costs. However, there is need to have capacity building for them, since most of them are not AI compliant. So there is need to have capacity building and awareness programs to enable them advance to this level. Relevancy to Bungoma County. Bungoma farmers have benefited from subsidized fertilizer, improved maize harvest, and dairy sector reforms. The expanded TVET training and digital hubs directly support the county's youth, including orphans and children raised by widows. Bungoma's MSP and cross-border traders, especially widows and women in markets like Chwele, Webuye, Sirisia, Kimilili, Tongarin, Kandui, Kamkuya, Kapsokony, stand to gain significantly from modern markets and hustler funds. So as I wrap up my presentation, I want to say that as we implement these milestones, we give special priority to mapping, registering, and supporting women, especially widows, youths, people with disabilities, the elderly, so that they fully benefit from these historic reforms I support. Thank you.
Next is